The sun was setting over the little town of Ogbomosho, casting long shadows on its dusty streets. At the center of it all sat Temi, a 28-year-old schoolteacher. She was marking papers in her small living room when a soft knock came at the door. "Come in," she called, looking up. Her younger brother Dapo entered, eyes wide with curiosity. "Temi, there's a letter for you," Dapo said, holding out a cream-colored envelope. "Who is it from?" she asked absently, reaching for the envelope. "It's from Dad," Dapo whispered, his voice trembling slightly. Temi froze. Their father had passed away 2 years ago. Temi stared at the envelope, her heart racing. "Dad?" she echoed, bewildered. "Yes," Dapo continued. "Akintoye, the postman said it was addressed to you. He found it while organizing some old mail." Temi's hands shook as she opened the envelope slowly. Inside was a simple card with her father's familiar handwriting. It read, "To my dear Temi, happy birthday. Always believe in yourself. With love, Dad." "What is this?" Temi murmured, her voice cracking. "His handwriting." Dapo leaned closer, peering at the card. "Do you think it's a mistake?" Temi shook her head, tears forming in her eyes. "No, Baba wouldn't play such a joke," she said quietly. It feels like a message. But how?" The room fell silent, both of them wrapped in their thoughts. Temi clutched the card tighter, a feeling of unease settling in her stomach. Something about this wasn't right. Later that evening, Temi sat with her aunt, Mama Nike, in the kitchen. The smell of jollof rice filled the air, but Temi felt too distracted to eat. "Mama Nike," she began hesitantly, "something strange happened today. I got a letter from Baba." Mama Nike paused, spoon in hand. "From Brother Kahindi?" she said, raising an eyebrow. "Yes, it's his handwriting. But how? He's gone." Mama Nike frowned, concern etched on her face. "Are you sure it's real, my dear?" Temi nodded. "It's definitely his, but it makes no sense," she replied, frustration creeping into her voice. Maybe there's something we're missing," Mama Nike suggested, her expression troubled. Temi exhaled sharply. "I don't know what to think. Maybe I'll ask around, see if anyone knows anything." In the following days, Temi questioned everyone in the community. Her friends, neighbors, and even Akintoye, the frail old postman. Nobody knew anything about the mysterious letter's origin. Returning home, Temi spotted some kids playing soccer in the street and paused. She clutched the card in her hand, feeling the weight of a mystery that refused to unravel. "Hello, Miss Temi," one child called, waving eagerly. But Temi's mind was elsewhere. One evening, just as darkness began enveloping Ogbomosho, Temi met with Tundi, her neighbor who often visited. They sat outside her house, the evening breeze a welcome relief. "Tunde," Temi said, showing him the card. "Look at this, it's from Baba." Tunde squinted at the card in the dim light. "This looks real. When did you get it?" "Last week, but he's been gone for years. How could this be?" Tunde scratched his head. "Maybe someone wrote it for him before he trailed off awkwardly. Temi sighed. "But why give it to me now? What's the point?" "Perhaps there's more to it, Temi. Something he wanted you to figure out later. You know, people hide secrets sometimes until they think it's the right moment." Temi looked at him, her mind racing. "You think Baba was hiding something?" The next day, Temi gathered her siblings around the old dining table in their cramped living room. Her heart felt heavy with anticipation and fear. "I've been thinking," she started, glancing at each one of them, "about Baba's letter. Maybe we need to check his things." Dapo spoke up. "We already cleared his stuff, remember? There wasn't anything." "Yes, but did we look closely?" The siblings spent the afternoon going through dusty boxes, old clothes, and stacks of papers. Temi felt a sense of urgency and dread. What if Tundi was right? What if there was more to their father than they knew? She was digging through a box of old books when she felt something hard beneath them. She pulled out an old diary, her father's name imprinted on the cover, faded yet unmistakable. "I found something," Temi exclaimed, gathering everyone around. They eyed the diary curiously. "What's in it?" Dapo asked, his tone laced with intrigue. Temi flipped through the pages filled with familiar handwriting, stories, numbers, careful drawings. One entry caught her eye, dated a week before his passing. For Temi, remember life is more than what it seems. She looked up, confusion and curiosity mingling. What does that mean? Her older brother, Femi, frowned. This doesn't make sense. Did he mean an inheritance? Secrets? Temi shook her head. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's about to change everything. The air grew thick with tension. They sat in silence, pondering their father's cryptic message. The uncertainty gnawed at Temi's mind. That night as she lay in bed, the weight of her discovery pressed heavily upon her. The letter, the diary, the hidden secrets, all demanded answers she wasn't ready for. Why, Baba? Why now? She whispered to the ceiling, hoping for a response that would never come. In the coming days, things began to unravel quickly. Temi visited old family friends, each conversation hinting at whispers of unknown ties and alliances. Rumors stirred about hidden properties and undisclosed debts. Tensions escalated within the family. Suspicions and accusations flew like daggers. Trust began to crumble, revealing fractures in their once unyielding bond. One evening, as Temi returned home, she found her siblings waiting for her. Femi stepped forward, face tight with anger. Temi, the truth must come out. Now. We can't keep living in the dark. Temi's heart pounded. I know, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. She knew the next step involved more than just uncovering truths. It meant confronting the buried past of their father. A heavy silence filled the room, anticipation hanging in the air like a brewing storm. What lay ahead promised to shatter illusions and reveal truths that could change everything. As the weight of Femi's accusation hung heavy in the air, Temi knew the only way to move forward was to confront their mother, who sat quietly at the edge of the living room, deep in thought. Mommy, you have to tell us, Temi urged gently, feeling the pressure of their father's secret straining the bond between them all. We can't keep guessing, please. Her mother, Mama Ayo, reclined slowly in her chair, her face etched with weariness. It wasn't supposed to be this way, she muttered, more to herself than anyone else. Why now? Femi pressed. What was Baba hiding? Mama Ayo's silence seemed to stretch on forever before she finally spoke. Your Baba was a good man, but like all men, he had his flaws. She paused, searching for words, her eyes filling with unshed tears. There was another family, a long time ago, before you. What are you saying, Mommy? Dapo asked, his voice barely a rasp. Mama Ayo's own tears began to fall. Your father had another child, a girl, before me, before all of you. The room fell silent, the revelation crashing down around them. Dapo turned away, attempting to disguise his tears while Temi struggled to breathe through the shock and pain. Where is she now? Femi demanded, anger simmering just beneath his calm facade. I don't know, Mama Ayo confessed, her voice burdened with regret. But he wrote to her often, and maybe she was the one he wanted Temi to find. Feeling the room close in on her, Temi clutched the forgotten letter to her chest, the words, always believe in yourself, gnawing at her core with new purpose. Determined to piece together her father's mystery, Temi sought out the postman, Akintoye. She found him seated under the shade of an old cocoa tree, his eyes alight with wisdom gathered over the years. You know more than you tell, Akintoye, Temi accused gently, a plea for truth nested in her voice. Who is this other family? Akintoye sighed, eyes clouded with memories. Your father asked me to deliver letters long ago, to a woman in Ibadan with a daughter. Though I never paid much mind back then, it all seems significant now. A desperate impulse drove Temi to Ibadan, retracing the possible trails her father had marked with his hidden life. She found herself at a modest bungalow, its faded paint and rusted gate hinting at years gone by. A soft voice called out as she approached. Can I help you? The woman who emerged from the shadows bore a startling resemblance to her father, her eyes mirroring his gentle wisdom. I'm Temi, she managed, her voice a mix of nerves and hope. The woman's face softened with recognition. "I'm Folek," she replied, as if their destinies had been inexorably bound long before this moment. Inside, the atmosphere felt both foreign and familiar. Temi glanced around, her gaze landing on a wall lined with photographs of a life she'd never known. It was like walking through an undeciphered chapter of her own story. "Your father wrote to us often," Folek said, her voice tinged with warmth and memory. "But we never met. This meeting, it's a part of something greater." Temi felt the ground beneath her shift. "Why didn't we know?" "Perhaps he was trying to protect all of you," Folek suggested. "Secrecy was his way of keeping certain grievances from overpowering love." Temi swallowed hard, her heart caught in a whirlpool of confusion and pain. The revenge she'd contemplated now felt hollow, overtaken by the tide of truths only now emerging. Back in Ogbomosho, Temi returned to a family fraught with skepticism and raw nerves. The revelation of their half-sister tore through the house like a relentless storm. Femi faced the group, his anger no longer contained. "What does this mean? Are we just supposed to accept it?" The tension escalated. Dapo fled the room, unable to confront the reality unraveling around them. In the midst of turmoil, Temi wandered to her father's old church, seeking solace in the quiet sanctuary. Her steps echoed on the worn wooden floor, her father's favorite pew beckoning her. She knelt, her anguish flowing freely in the dim light of the chapel. "Baba, why?" As tears streamed down her face, she opened her heart to the echoes of the scriptures her father once cherished. The words of Psalm 34:18 came to her mind. "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." It was as if her father had whispered them into her soul, offering comfort she never thought possible. Slowly, her tears subsided, her heart shifting from vengeance to humility and a longing for peace. "They that sow in tears shall reap in joy," came a soft voice. Temi turned to see Pastor Alibi standing beside her, his gentle smile a balm for her weary spirit. He continued, "I can feel your father's spirit here. He wants you to be free, Temi. Anger and revenge only bind your heart." The words resonated with her, striking through the layers of pain. "What should I do, Pastor?" Pastor Alibi took her hands, the warmth of community and faith grounding her among the swirling chaos. "Acceptance and forgiveness, Temi. Only then can true healing begin. Christ's love is your shield." Temi nodded, feeling the first gossamer threads of peace weave through her. Returning home, she faced her siblings, each holding their fragile new identities in trembling hands. With the strength granted her by newfound faith, she spoke. "We may not have had a say in what happened, but we have a choice in what comes next." With the courage she'd found in the quiet of the chapel, she extended her hand towards Femi. "Let's meet Folek, know her and what Baba loved in her." As their fingers clasped, the currents of love and purposes larger than themselves settled around them, a new tapestry of family and forgiveness slowly taking shape. Later, as Temi sat on her porch, the diary resting quietly by her side, she lifted her gaze to the sky. The sun began its descent, casting a warm glow that embraced both past and future. "Thank you, Baba," she whispered into the gathering dusk, feeling the peace that comes when faith overcomes and redeems.
Thank you so much for listening to this intriguing story. I hope it touched you or taught you something. For more stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. And guys, if you'd like to see a part 2, or you have thoughts on what happened, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.